Tony. He's Mike. And today we continue the month of love. Aww. With 1998's Nicolas Cage, Meg Ryan, City of Angels.
She can see you, Seth. She can't see you. No one can see you unless you want them to.
And if I want her to?
Why do you want her to?
He hears music in the sunrise, but he'd give it all up. He loves you that much.
What's that taste like?
You don't know what a pear tastes like?
I don't know what a pear tastes like to you.
Seth, are you here? I want to see you.
Was it a huge movie?
It was. As a matter of fact,
hang
I'll
on,
tell you how huge this movie was. When Titanic, after being like the #1 film in the box office for weeks and weeks and months on that one, this movie actually, 2 weeks after Titanic lost the #1 spot, City of Angels took the #1 spot. That's how big this film was. And then we have a soundtrack that you'll never be able to get out of your head ever again. Okay, because every time that you see a sad puppy, that song is in this thing. In the arms of the angel.
Yeah, the Sarah McLachlan was in here. Thankfully for only one song.
It was,
and one scene. And then you get the infamous Goo Goo Dolls song. But again, lucky for us, it's one scene. It's towards the very end. I'd never seen this movie before, so thankfully I was really grateful that the song and that theme was not peppered throughout this whole movie.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that being said, this movie. This creepy fucking softcore church porn wherever the hell this is. I don't know what to think about this thing, you know, because you got creepy...
Let's break this down.
Creeping out on motherfuckers.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage hangs out in hospitals watching people die. All right. So
well, that is his job there.
Yeah. Well, okay, but like, there's nowhere else. He couldn't like go hang out like at a bus station or a subway. I mean, people die all over the place. But okay, that's his job. Fine. But then he's standing there. Meg Ryan sees him.
Come on.
He's going.
He's not going anywhere.
And then he has to have a conversation about Andre Bauer, and she's so beautiful, and so he stalks her. All right, let's just.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He stalks her, and then she sees him.
How did you know my name? What's yours?
Seth.
And then they had this weird, uncomfortable, wackadoo-ass relationship, and then Dennis Franz from NYPD Blue shows up. Turns out that he was an angel, and he chose...
No, he wasn't an angel. He was he was a different type of celestial being.
Nathaniel Messenger. Glutton, hedonist, former celestial body, recent addition to the human race.
Well, he was one of them. He was one of whatever Nicolas Cage is, because he chose to fall. He says his name. He's like, I know you. Oh, you look familiar. Yeah. So he was one of them, because then he's like, tells him, oh yeah, they still gather and watch the sunrise and the sunset.
I don't believe you.
You want proof? You hang out at a library. You can speak every language. You travel with the speed of thought. And you're reading my mind right now.
And blah, blah, blah. And you know, I fell to earth, and why did I do it? Well, I have my wife and my daughter and my granddaughter and blah, 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 blah. And ice cream. And he tells him, like, all you got to do is decide to fall and blah.
You choose.
Choose?
To fall to earth.
And then Nicolas Cage tries to hook up with Meg Ryan, but he doesn't feel anything.
Moments later.
I'll see you around.
And she's going to run off to Tahoe and marry her surgeon buddy boyfriend, and then Nicolas Cage decides to take the plunge, and then he arrives there, and she didn't go through with it, and they get together, and Nicolas Cage gets to experience sex with Meg Ryan, and then she dies. Because you, Nick Cage. So,
and he gets asked, you know, knowing it all, would you do it all again? I'd do it for just one touch of her hair, one smell of this, or whatever the fuck this stupid thing is.
If you'd known this was going to happen, would you have done it?
I would rather have had one breath of her hair, one kiss of her mouth, one touch of her hand, than an eternity without it.
This movie, like, legitimately, if you watch this movie and consider this like, oh, this is romance, the problem is you.
Yeah, I don't know who this is for. Who actually enjoys this? Like, women, like, let us know in the comments. Is this romantic? I mean,
it's creepy.
It's creepy. That's how I took it the whole time.
And I mean, like, the fact that, like he's not just, like, at her work. He shows up at her house while she's taking a bath, while she's doing this, and he's just leering at her.
Yeah.
With, like, just this weird expression on his face the whole time. And it's very obsessive and uncomfortable.
Yes.
And then to boot, like she's got this long-term boyfriend she's been with for a very, very long time, and they have this comfortable relationship. Not you know, flowers and cannons and shit, but they get along. They're like beings. They're like souls. They're both surgeons. They both work at the same hospital.
It's a relationship really of convenience more than it is
absolutely.
anything.
Absolutely.
You know, so there's not real love there.
No.
There could be down the line, possibly.
I was gonna say
there's that.
It seems more like a prolonged friends with benefits situation to me.
Exactly. And I think the fact that she starts talking about this Seth guy, that he's like, oh shit, I better put a ring on this motherfucker or else I'm gonna lose this.
Yeah.
Is what that comes down to.
He does make some effort, you know, but like, you know,
there's another fucking, you know, rooster in the hen house.
I was gonna say the other thing is like, you know, Meg Ryan's all like, can you just look at me? Can we just spend a few minutes together? Can we just do nothing? Can we just be together?
What am I supposed to do?
Well, just look at me.
You can't do it.
And it's like, and then he tries to stare at her and then busts up laughing. And it's like, yeah, that's how I felt the entire time I was watching Nicolas Cage and his lovelorn, you know, doughy-eyed look. Okay, so this movie is actually a remake. There was actually a German film, which I'm watching this and I'm going, okay, this looks like a French art house film that got co-opted by a studio. That's exactly what happened with this. It was a German art film, and it takes place during the fall of the Berlin Wall. And so it's these angels observing, like, all these people going through all this shit as the wall is coming down. And so it's a very humanist story. Hollywood studio gets a hold of it, and they're all like, well, we're moving this from Berlin to Los Angeles, so we got to get rid of all that human drama crap.
I can't see you, but I know you're here. I feel it.
Je regarde devant moi, et le monde se lève devant mes yeux, me monte au cœur. Es gibt keine größere Geschichte als die von uns beiden. Es wird eine Geschichte von Riesen sein. Eine Geschichte neuer Stammeltern. Jetzt oder nie.
Let's focus on romance. And that's why they all look like Neo in the Matrix, because it's art house origins. And then there's like all the weird shots of them sitting on shit, just watching stuff.
And that CGI is awful. Every shot they're on like some building or some billboard, some sign, some road sign. It's obvious that they are not sitting there.
Yeah, no, it's bad. It's really, really bad. But
hang on a second. There's less than a handful of things that I actually did kind of enjoy about this movie. None of it has to do with the story whatsoever. None of it. One is the performances. So while the script is shit, and it is dog shit, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I did actually enjoy Jennifer France's character. He actually was kind of charming and endearing in it.
How do you know when I'm here?
Nicolas Cage, when he's not being a creepy perv, when he's actually just being an angel doing his job, is actually quite touching and engaging. That opening scene with him and that little girl was beautiful. I mean, really it was. It was very well done. Yeah. And he looks actually very angelic. I do buy him in that particular instance as an angel.
Where are we going?
Home.
Can Mommy come?
No. Can I ask you something?
Yes?
What did you like best?
Pajamas.
And then Meg Ryan's Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
you know,
actually,
she don't have a whole lot to deal with in this one. I mean, you should have picked this one, baby. You just shouldn't have. This was not.
The irony of this is Nicolas Cage had done The Rock and Con Air, and he decided he wanted to get away from action films and he wanted to do something that was a little bit more serious and more dramatic, because he did win an Academy Award for Leaving Las Vegas, which is an immensely heavy-ass movie. Yeah. This ain't it. I mean, I get if you saw like there was a German art house film that like got a lot of notoriety and won a bunch of awards and was like really seen as like something really different and interesting, I could understand why you would sign on to this project. This is such a want to be art house film. There's like I
don't think it wants to be art house. I don't think it knows what it wants to be honest with you.
Yes.
It came off as like some weird wackadoo religious passion project. Like seriously, like this is like jerking off to Jesus. I mean, I'm serious.
But at no point did they actually bring that up. That but
it's a roundabout way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I want to sleep with an angel. I mean, come on.
Yeah. No, you and I are on the same page on that one. But I mean, the thing is, it's so. It doesn't want to define itself, so it defines nothing. It doesn't want to like upset anybody. There's like nobody has a painful death in this movie. Meg Ryan is hit by a fucking semi-truck, but she's just laying on the ground going, "Oh, if only I could see Nick Cage's face. Oh, I can go now."
What I like the best, I'll tell them it was you.
There's nothing peaceful about being hit by a semi-truck. And I'm going to tell you this right now.
That's kind of the funny thing about this, too, is because he's kind of heartbroken the fact that, like, her eyes ain't on him. They're on the other
They're on the light. Yes.
Yes. There's somebody else behind him. And he confronts the
Andre Braugher. Yeah.
It's like, were you the other guy?
No.
Was my bitch looking at you?
Wasn't me.
Yeah. But I saw you in the shower. Wasn't me. But I saw you in the wasn't me.
I'm gonna say this I knew I had never seen this before. I mean, I'd seen it like 30 years back. That's how old this movie is. That's I guess 20 years back. But
well, it's 1998. You can do the math.
I remembered nothing about this film. So when she's biking down the street with her arms out, I'm like, oh shit, here it comes. and when it happens, I was laughing so hard I fell off the couch. And then Nicolas Cage shows up and I'm laughing even harder. It was unintentionally hilarious. Now, I don't know what that says about me. Feel free to judge. Just throw it in the comments. But like, seriously, of all the ways that Meg Ryan could have done, of all the ways they could have actually shown that, it was just absolutely the laziest, like, dumbest, like, oh, well, if she got hit by a semi-truck, hauling trees, mind you, hauling freshly cut lumber.
Hang on.
There wouldn't be anything of Meg Ryan left.
She actually didn't get hit by the truck. She hit the truck.
Yeah.
She rode her bike into that truck.
That was coming down the road.
It was coming up the hill. It was coming out. No doubt about it. But it wasn't like, it plowed into her. She ran into it. She could have dumped the bike over. She could have spilled off. She could have found some way to get off that motherfucker. No. She chose to stay on that bike and hit that fucking semi-truck.
I was going to say, it should have looked more like the ending of The Road Warrior. It should not.
You see your eyes bug out.
It should not have been her laying on the ground with a little trickle of blood on the side of her mouth going.
Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You want to tell you how you can fix this movie?
By deleting it?
I can tell you can fix this movie.
Get rid of Sarah McLachlan.
You can fix this movie by really just kind of switching on who's infatuated with who. Instead of having Nicolas Cage be the one that's infatuated, you could have Meg Ryan be the one that's infatuated.
Yeah.
She could have seen him in that operating room just by chance, by pure coincidence.
Saw him because the guy was dying and he was...
For whatever reasons, those may be.
Okay.
And because this show throughout the movie that people can talk to the angels and they will respond. Like, I know I can't see you, but I know you're there type of thing.
Yeah.
And she could have coaxed him into revealing himself. That would have made this a much
more palatable.
And not creepy and all that shit. Would it have made a good movie? Probably not. Probably still would have made a good movie. But it would have been a more, like you said, less creepy and palatable.
See, now you brought up the fact Dennis Franz as the angel that chose to fall, as the one that decided to become human. He is the best part of this movie.
Oh yes,
by far and away.
Easy.
But even then, his dialogue and his performance. It's very sweetened. It's very oh well, he's got to be like the perfect husband and the perfect grandfather and all this. And I get it, but it lacks any depth. It lacks any like humanity. That's the word I'm looking for here. He comes off as I'm just a human in name only. I'm actually really still an angel, but I really love Ben and Jerry's.
Okay, you ready to deal? Huh? Because I can answer all your questions, friend.
I mean,
I didn't mind that at all. I mean, I totally get where you're coming from. Absolutely. I don't think it's this big sin of all the sins of this movie.
Yeah.
I can absolutely forgive Dennis Franz's saccharine sweet portrayal of this thing. But if he wasn't there, there'd be nothing really here to really.
Yeah.
To say nice about this movie, short of the performance.
I was going to say, so we have the scenes where Nicolas Cage is wooing Meg Ryan, and we have the awkward scene in the library.
As I ate the oysters with their strong taste of the sea and their faint metallic taste, he never forgets to describe how things taste. I like that.
Which is just weird. And then we have the scene.
There's like so many scenes in the library.
Well, there's that. There's also the scene where Dennis Franz is out of the hospital, and then they have like the big family reunion, and he invites both of them there. And that whole scene is weird.
Have a beer, Steph. Where are you from?
Up north, Canada.
And then there's the Polaroid photo where Nicolas Cage is just a white blur. So maybe he is an angel. And then there's a scene where they're in the park and she's walking the dog and she kisses him and he's like, "Did you feel that?" "I don't feel." And this sends Meg Ryan into a rage.
This is the only Nicolas Cage movie where he doesn't do any Elvis anything that I'm aware of.
And yet, weirdly, it would be more appropriate here because Elvis, he was like an angel on earth. But I legitimately, I hated this movie. Karen sat down and watched it with me. Karen hated this movie. Karen's like, "Who picked that piece of shit?" There you go.
Because we had to have something we can rip on, all right? We suffer for you. We suffer for our art, so you can enjoy it.
I don't get why this was such a thing. I don't
get it either. It makes no sense to me. Now I remember hearing people rag on this movie. So it kind of caught me off guard when you said that it was such a huge success. Hey, numbers don't mean good.
No,
we know this. So while it may have dethroned, you know, Titanic after it was like a huge thing for like a year and a half, you know, because eventually even Michael Jackson got knocked off. You know, for number one. But it doesn't mean that this is a good movie or that really was a success. As a matter of fact, I kind of wish I would have looked at the box office for this to see what the budget was and what it actually
We have a production assistant right there, and while we're waiting for those numbers, I'm just also going to say this. I think the biggest reason for this film's success was its soundtrack, because you could not escape this film's soundtrack. Between Sarah McLachlan and the Goo Goo Dolls and...
See, I didn't know Sarah McLachlan was actually on this movie. All I knew was the fucking Goo Goo Dolls, because that MTV video was fucking everywhere.
And Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, she was in this too.
Yes.
But did she have a movie video?
I don't know if she did. I do know that the Goo Goo Dolls did.
Yeah.
And I don't to see.
But like there was no escaping it, and that was like a big thing. I don't know if there's still movies out there that like really sell tickets based on the soundtrack. It doesn't seem to be so much a thing anymore. But like back then, it was.
In the late 90s, early 2000s, soundtracks brought people to the theaters.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, even Kissed by a Rose was on a Batman movie. So, but...
I think we got numbers.
Yeah.
The budget was $55 million. The box office was $198.7 million.
That's how big of a hit this was. $198.7 million on a $55 million budget.
Hang on,
that is quadruple return.
Yeah, but there's also the you know, your advertising budget and all that.
Well, you normally take the production budget and double it. So if it's $55 million,
that's $100 million.
It's $100 million. They've doubled their money already, and that's
that's not that big resounding success. Doubling your money.
Double your money's pretty good, and then you're forgetting that there's also the soundtrack.
That's bet the casino. You motherfuckers could take that $59 million, drop it on fucking black, and do the same thing.
Yeah,
so I'm not impressed.
We wouldn't get to see Nicolas Cage in black trench coat. The Angels looked like they all went shopping at JCPenney for their outfits.
The Stafford collection makes its statement from fabric to stitching, with classically tailored suits, fine shirts, and silk ties. So when you make your statement, it's sure to be an expression of quality. Stafford at JCPenney.
You're looking smarter than ever, JCPenney.
So
I wouldn't even go that far. TJ Maxx. Kohl's. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
I watched this movie out of morbid curiosity. I hated it. I hated everything about it. But I will say this: it does intrigue me to go watch the art film that inspired it, because everything about this, it was so corporatized. Like I said, it's based on an art film, and I could see the art film origins just because of how they portrayed the afterlife and the angels and all that stuff. So I'm kind of intrigued knowing that the story has nothing to do with these group of people. So I may very well go do that just to, you know, satisfy my own curiosity. But this is so corporate-y, like test audience-y, so like, oh, well, the ladies give it a 78% approval. And I know now why every dude that was drugged to this way back in the day complained about how much this movie sucked, because it did.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. So, what did we learn from this one? Number one, just don't watch this movie. 2, obsessive love is never good love. 3, keep your fucking Jesus porno shit out of my theater. It's not a recommend for me.
Not even anything close to it. No, don't even watch this one out of morbid curiosity. Really, honestly, seriously. It's not that funny. There's the trunk scene that's hilarious. Oh, and Nicolas Cage getting his ass beat and they steal his shoes.
Hello?
I'm just going to say I've never seen a beating more justified than that one in cinema history. He had it coming. That is how the audience felt about Nicolas Cage at that point in the film.
Yeah. I'm done.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this movie anymore, but I needed to talk through it. This is kind of a therapy session for me, so
Fair enough.
send me an invoice.
Right. we got one more coming at you next week. We'll see you guys then.